both first learn of actual cooties in your life?
Must have been 5
Oh, really?
or 6, maybe.
Okay. I feel like I learned about them late. I mean,
It was later.
I went to an all-girls school for grades 1 and 2 where it was not an issue. And then unfortunately had to join boys in grade 3. But then I was like, actually, they're very handsome. So I think it was grade 3, so I did 8.
Yeah, I guess that's it, right?
It's sort of
prior
to that, you're like, they're not gross at 5.
No,
I mean,
you
I
don't
had
care.
friends still at 5 who were boys. Like
Yeah,
we
no,
could
that's
play
true.
Teenage Mutant
That's
Ninja
true.
Turtles together, and that was okay because April O'Neil had boyfriend, like they were turtles, but they were male.
Right.
And that was still okay. And then at a certain point, it shifts, and it's at that shift point that you reach Cooties.
I
right
like
there.
that your friendship role model was April O'Neil.
Yeah,
I
obviously.
thought I was really attracted to April O'Neil.
Yeah, obviously. Of
course.
She's a
Redheads,
journalist.
you can't.
She's a hot journalist who's friends with amazing turtles. Like, why would you not be?
Yeah, of course.
Did you avoid catching
guy.
the cooties or no?
I don't know that Cooties ever really played a part in my life because I thought girls were cute. Like, I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't afraid of kissing on girls or
This man in touch with his sacred feminine.
Yeah.
just love
Just the way it
girls.
is.
It was fine. It was easy.
Yeah, you're like,
Never
oh,
went
yeah.
through that gross phase. I just never went through that gross phase.
How would you describe the scare factor in this versus the humor factor?
It's tricky. It's dependent on the viewer.
That's a good point.
You know, I really think if it touches on some of your fears, then you will definitely, potentially. But the attempt was to make them, it's a genuinely equal match of horror and comedy. And hopefully, I mean, there have been a few people who've definitely been like, I watched it alone and it was scary. And so that's a great, rewarding thing because it's always a worry to be, you know, to have a horror comedy be properly horrific.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, you know, horror comedies tend to skew more comedy than horror for the most part. And there are examples of the contrary where it is relatively even matched. Like American Werewolf in London is terrifying, but also very funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was definitely our intention. But I think that you're right. In some ways, it's also about what you bring into it and what you find scary. So if you have a sensitivity to some of the things that we're dealing with that are horrific, then you'll probably be scared more than you'll laugh, I guess.
But I also think it's interesting because because of the belief that every horror comedy is mostly comedy, and with our poster and with the people involved, that you're like, oh, it's a comedy that's like about a scary
You're
movie.
right.
You know,
It's almost
that it's
a
like
Trojan horse a little
yeah, and then you're like, oh, no, there's actual horror elements that are very integral to the plot and the whole thing of it.
Yeah, I was terrified.
Good.
I'm useless to begin with, but I needed like a nice, strong drink afterwards.
Good,
that's
yay!
Yeah.
See, this is great to hear.
That makes
Yeah,
me
terrified. The sound foley, whoever did that, I was
Oh,
like,
isn't it good?
Yeah.
And the new Cooties sounds are good.
They're really good.
The, like,
yes,
They're awesome.
that was awful.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice, nicely done.
but good.
Thank you.
Real quick before we go, how is Goon 2 production going?
We're finished.
Oh, you're finished.
I mean, I only was there for a couple weeks, but it
Is it
went
done?
great. They should be finished shooting about now.
Wow.
I've got to check in. But they basically, like, I shot a wonderful domestic comedy with Sean William Scott and Alicia Cuthbert, and then they're shooting a hockey movie. You know?
Dude,
Like,
I think
we
that
finished
movie is
the
going to
first.
be so awesome.
It's so everybody came back, and it's so exciting. Like everybody.
It's going to be really good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I saw some footage.
Oh, you did? Oh, because you're friends with our editor. That's how. I was like, how? Who? What? Yeah. Anyway, Jason Eisner, who directed Hobo with a Shotgun, is editing
editing
it,
the movie.
and these are buddies, and it should be very fun.
More of the same? Taking it up a notch?
Oh, you'll see. Dude, it's so dope.
It's definitely becoming more operatic.
I like that. And lastly, real quick for you, lots of talk already about Last Witch Hunter 2. Do you know anything about it?
Yeah, according to Vin, right? Apparently
Yeah, he's good at
He's
starting that
real
stuff.
good at starting things that may or may not be true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea what Lionsgate plan is. I mean, I think it's one of those things that it's a completely new story that no one's ever heard of before, so it really needs to like come out and find an audience and see if people want to see more stories in that universe.
Yeah. Would you want to place in another one?
Potentially, yeah. I always feel like sequels are fine as long as there's a reason for its existence. You know?
And maybe reason enough that people want to come back and hang out with people.
Which, in the case of there being maybe a Cooties 2, does the world need it? I don't really care.
Doesn't matter.
I kind of just want us to all work together again. That's a rare exception.
Yeah.
Just a selfish
Yeah,
desire.
yeah.
Nice. I hope there's a second one.
Cool.
Yay.
We hope so too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. So
Awesome.
appreciate